with Bill's Retro Gaming Show.
Hello, everybody. Almost forgot to put the mute off. How are you all doing tonight? Happy Wednesday. Glad to be here with you guys again. And, yeah, we got some stuff to talk about tonight. Of course, as many of you noticed from the thumbnail, from the title, we are going to be talking tonight about G.I. Joel's new project. We're also going to be talking about the GRS FU Build-A-Cade, doing a little bit of comparison on those. So, yeah, even though, I did kind of call it the battle of the Ninten-Cabs and Joel versus GRS, I think you'll find by the time we're done here that these are definitely very different projects, and I think they're going to hit different needs and different niches within the community. But I thought it would be fun to talk about them. Number one, I really wanted to talk about what G.I. Joel is doing, talk about some of the other projects that he's worked on, give him a good promotion because he's a really good guy. He's been doing some really cool stuff lately. And part of what kind of precipitated this is after watching Michael B's stream on Monday. And by the way, if you haven't had a chance to check out Michael B's stream, where he interviewed Stock Jock and G.I. Joel, I know Stock Jock's in the chat here. Go back and check that out. Really good, great interview with those two guys. Two really great guys. A lot of fun. But I did notice that while they were talking about Joel's project, a lot of people brought up Glenn's GRS FU unit that he's working on. And obviously a lot of that had to do with the fact that both of them have that kind of Nintendo-ish shape to the cabs, or at least Glenn's can if you buy the hood add-on that's going to go with it. So I kind of wanted to talk about both of them and just give them a little bit of compare and contrast and go from there. Also, I do have a little bit of an update direct from Glenn on the Build-A-Cade FU. I'm sure he's going to talk more about it probably on his show on Friday, but he did give me a little bit of an update that I can share with you guys later on tonight. I think this is breaking news. I don't think anybody else has put this out yet, so that's going to be fun. So stick around. We got a lot to go over tonight. There are a couple of other news items that have come up over the last day or two that I wanted to touch on and share with you guys, as I usually do. So, should be a fun show. Let's start off and let's do what we always like to do on these kind of shows and say hi to who we have in the chat. A bunch of people are coming on, joining on. Thank you guys so much for coming and sharing a little bit of your Wednesday evening with me. Guys, I always appreciate it when you hang out with me. First up, we've got Mike Hawkhurts. It's great to have some quality options again. Absolutely. Good to see you, Mike. We've got Calvin Wong. JJ is here. Biggie D's Arcade. The man himself, Stock Jock. The Be Me is here. Cornercade, always good to see you, of course. Oh, who's this guy? He must have just snuck in. Brooklyn Menace. Brooklyn Menace, our resident VR expert. I got a VR spotlight I want to share a little bit later on tonight for you guys. We got Israel Gaming in the house. J-Rod is here. Ted Adam Green is also here. We got B. Kirby, the Chicago arcade guy. My good buddy, Mike of All Trades, Mo, it is always good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with us tonight. Always appreciate it. Jason Little Alien, my incredible the moderator of all moderators, of course. Always good to have you here. Kevin Clausen is here. Say in Spirits is also here. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? Oh, we got Bobby1 ALU as well. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Definitely appreciate, like I said, you guys stopping by and hanging out. So let's dive in and let's cover some news. Again, you guys know I like to try to keep things as close to an hour as possible and then send you guys on your way to check out Arcades Anonymous or whatever else it is you like to do on a Wednesday night. Of course, I will show will redirect to Arcades Anonymous if that's what you want to do. Ritual Dello, aka Rotundo, is also here. So thank you very much. Oh, and okay, before I get into the news, I got to give a huge shout out to Stockjock. Thank you so much, Stockjock, who just gifted 10 memberships to the channel. Man, I always appreciate it when you guys do stuff like that. It's not necessary, but definitely appreciate it. So thank you, Stockjock, and thank you and welcome, I should say, to everybody who just got a membership. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys stick around. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the first item that I want to bring up, and that is this. This is Arcade Archives, who over the past few years have been bringing retro games to consoles. Usually they stick with some older stuff. It looks like they're, and I think people have known about this for a little while, but now we've got prices and dates for these. Arcade Archives is going to be bringing Ridge Racer and Ridge Racer 2 to consoles. It's going to be coming to Switch 2. It's going to be coming to PlayStation. It's going to be coming to Xbox. And like I said, they announced that these were going to be coming. I think these got announced originally during the Switch 2 announcement. But they've just put out a little bit more information. And it looks like these are going to be coming out on June 5th. Now, the other thing with these is they're actually a little on the pricey side for Arcade Archives. Now, Arcade Archives, honestly, I think they're a little expensive to begin with. Most of their games are right around like $6.99, $7.99 for, older arcade games. These are going to be $14.99 and $16.99. Oh, I see what they're doing. I'm sorry. I thought they were bringing two games. It's just the one. It's just Ridge Racer, but they're bringing, I guess, two versions of it depending on which system you have, which is interesting. So through their normal Arcade Archives, Ridge Racer is going to hit the original Switch and PlayStation 4 for $14.99 on June 5th. They have a new Arcade Archives 2, which is going to bring it to the bigger platforms, the new Nintendo Switch 2, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and that's going to be $16.99. So that's interesting. Users who purchase Arcade Archives Ridge Racer for Switch and PS4 will be eligible for an ownership discount, allowing them to purchase. So if you buy it so let's say you pick this up for the Switch, and later on you get the Switch 2 and you want to upgrade to, I guess, the newer version of it, you don't have to re-buy it. You can just pay $2.99 to get the upgrade to it. So that's pretty cool. Oh, here we go. Mike B is here. Nah, sorry. No donut talk tonight. So, and thank you very much for the super chat. What do we got here? We got a $2.79 Canadian Monopoly money super chat. Love you, Mike. You didn't have to do that, but thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. You missed it. The donut talk was last week. You're gonna have to go back and watch last week's show if you want to hear about donuts. But thank you for that. I definitely appreciate it. So anyway, that is Arcade Archives bringing Ridge Racer to last generation and the new generation of consoles, $14.99 on Switch and PS4, $16.99 on Switch 2, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. So keep an eye out for that on June 5th if you want to pick that up. All right. So next up, just a quick reminder to all of you guys from New Wave Toys that if you were interested in picking up their skee ball machine that is going to be coming out, I don't know, whenever, you have a little over a day left to get in on the pre-order. Remember, these are going to retail, as of right now, these say they're going to retail for $149.99, but with the pre-order discount, you can get them for $119.99. You also get this sign that goes with it as part of the pre-order. I know a lot of people are a little, kind of upset with New Wave Toys because we've had all these pre-orders and we're not getting any information on when stuff is coming out, and yet here's another one. But I just figured I'd throw this out with only a little over 24 hours left to get in on the pre-sale for this. If you'd been waiting, if you wanted to jump in on it and you hadn't yet, well, now's your chance to do it. Uh-oh. What do we... It looks like... Oh, Stock Jock, if you knew the days and the weeks I've been having, you wouldn't be surprised. You definitely wouldn't be surprised. Or for like another $2... Yeah. On the Ridge Racer? Yeah, probably. It is, like I said, I do think that is kind of a high price for an emulated copy of Ridge Racer, basically. But it's out there. I just wanted to throw it out there to people. Don't miss the chance. Skee ball for delivery. Christmas 20. Yeah. Again, who knows? Who knows at this point when these things are going to come? I love New Wave Toys. I really do. I'm a big fan of theirs, but they gotta let us know what's going on with Golden Tee, Crystal Castles, the pinball, all this stuff. We haven't had an update from them in quite a while. And it would really be nice to know a little bit more about what's going on. All right, next up. So there isn't a lot from Arcade 1-Up, as we all know, and this isn't much either. But I figured I'd throw this out in case any of you missed it. They are celebrating Pac-Man's 45th anniversary with $50 off of their recent Pac-Man Deluxe. Now, unless something's changed between the time this email went out this afternoon and now, from what I can see, the only place you can actually get this at that $50 off price is Amazon. Unless things have changed, I don't think Best Buy or Kohl's or Target or anything, they all, at least this afternoon when this went out, still have it at the $4.99. So if you want to save yourself $50 on this, if you hadn't picked it up yet, whatever, Amazon's got it for $4.49. So there's your Arcade 1-Up news for the week. Woo! Kevin Clausen is here with a $2 super chat. Here, Bill, get an extra $2 of this. Thank you so much. Definitely appreciate it. It's the first time the arcade. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. That's true because it's Arcade Archive, so it is the arcade version. But still, I don't know. It just to me at least, it seems a little on the expensive side. All right, moving right along, trying to run through these as quick as I can and get to the main topic. We got a little Xbox news for all you Xbox retro gamers out there. So Microsoft has announced Retro Classics with Game Pass. Kick things off with over 50 Activision games from the 80s and 90s. So some of you might be familiar with Antstream Arcade. Antstream Arcade is a product. It's something that you can download and play on PC, on your mobile. They're available on Xbox and PlayStation as well. And it gives you access to something like 1,300, maybe more at this point, retro games. But it's also subscription-based. At least it is on consoles. On PC and I think mobile, you can play it for free, but you're kind of limited on how long you can play and what you can do with it. Whereas if you buy the subscription, you have unlimited play and stuff. Here, Microsoft has collaborated with Antstream Arcade to bring like a subsection of the classic games to Xbox for anybody who's got Game Pass. So this is not an extra subscription. This is if you've already got Game Pass, you can get access to a bunch of these games. And they kind of range all over the place. His platform selections include Atari 2600, DOS, and Amiga. It's worth noting there is a PlayStation section of retro classics, which currently includes MechWarrior 2, 31st Century Combat, and the only game, and there is an SNES section, which also has a MechWarrior game on it. So I always find this interesting with Antstream Arcade, and now through this with Game Pass, is the ability to play Nintendo and PlayStation games on your Xbox without having to go through, throwing like RetroArch on there and doing it that way kind of a thing, having it be, something native right there. And you can see a ton of different games on here. A lot of old 2600 games, Atlantis 2, Barnstorming, Baseball, Beam Riders. You got some classics like Caesar 2. You got some old Sierra point and clicks on here, like Conquest of the Longbow, Freddy Farkas. I thought I saw, a couple of the Space Quest and Police Quest games. You got those MechWarrior games on here. Pitfall 2. Star Voyager, fun game. Zork is on here. Quest for Glory. So, like I said, a little over, right around 50 games, I think they said at launch. Retro classics on Xbox, on Game Pass. So if you've got an Xbox, if you're subscribed to Game Pass, and you like playing some of these old retro games, go ahead and check this out. It's just going to be part of your Game Pass, which I think is pretty cool. So again, no extra subscription needed. Just go ahead and play it. Freeway, that is a big... It is, actually. I remember Freeway. It was kind of like almost like a Frogger clone, I think, if I remember correctly. And, it was a lot of fun. There's definitely a lot... River Raid is on here. River Raid, one of my all-time favorite Atari games. Love that game. So much fun. So there's definitely some fun games to be had on there. Finally putting that Activision acquirement to use outside of Call of Duty. Yeah. Like I said, hopefully, I believe, like it said, that they're going to be adding more as time goes on. Uh-oh. MG's here. Hey, Filthy Bill. The first time caller, no offense, but I don't think anyone cares because it's old lame games from when Stock Chuck was... Oh, come on, MG. Those are fighting words, man. Some of these games are great. And a lot of people love playing all these old games. Look, we're all old retro gamers here. We love this stuff. Maybe you don't. Oh, Kevin, I'm sorry you feel that way. Like I said, I guess some of them are going to be hit and miss. Not worth paying extra for, but if it's included, it's a nice bonus. Yep, agreed. Freeway Soul. Yeah, I know, right? Zork is a classic. Such a classic game. I absolutely love that game. So, look, if you don't care, you don't care. But if you're interested and you like this kind of stuff, then check it out. All right. Just a couple more things to go over, and then on to the main topic. I was born after Atari. I lost my patience. Hope you enjoy it. Yeah, I get it. If you weren't born in that age, if you started playing on Nintendo or even later, Atari games look like crap. But if you're an old fart like me who was born in the early 70s, that's what we grew up on. My first console was a ColecoVision. I had the Atari add-on for it. I played Atari games. I played ColecoVision games. I still have an affinity for those. I just absolutely love them. So I don't have Xbox. I don't have Game Pass, so I can't take advantage of this. But look, for those of you who do, like I said, go ahead and check it out. Yeah, no. Definitely not. All right, next up, AtGames. So, nothing new coming up this week, but they are already planning on their release for next week. So, next week, Shooting the Rapids Deluxe comes out for HD and 4K. This is another one of those Zaccaria Deluxe ones. This one, I kind of like the look of a little better than the last one. I think Moonflight was okay, but I didn't like how flipper heavy it was. I didn't like how busy the table was. This one feels a little more open to me. You could see what looks like a upper playfield area, like right over, like the full, almost top half of the table. Which I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that, because the thing always with these Magic Pixel tables on AtGames is it's always tough a lot of times to tell the difference. Their depth isn't that great on them, so it's not always easy to tell. Hopefully, you can make that out fairly easily here, although I do have to say that when you come up into this area where the bumpers and everything are, having it obstructed by this upper play area is usually a little bit of a turnoff for me. Let's check out a little bit of the video here, their promo video, and just see what it looks like. I'm going to shut the sound off on this so I don't get any kind of copyright issues on it, although you never know with AtGames. So looking at this, it's not too bad. You can still kind of make out the ball in that upper area. It's not too bad. Oh, there is an extra flipper on the left side there that I missed when I was looking at the table. So this has got 5 flippers on it. You got 3 on the main playfield area, 2 on the upper playfield. So those aren't really going to come into play until you're up there. But I do kind of like the open layout a little bit more on this, like I said, than the last table. We'll have to see how it plays compared to some of their other ones. I'm really hoping that they do like they did on the last one, and they really take advantage of the DMD, make some special animations for it. I liked that a lot on Moonflight. I liked how they changed up the DMD on it. It didn't feel cookie cutter like a lot of the other ones do. So I am definitely, looking forward to checking this out. All right, there's some stuff going on in the chat here that I don't even want to know why it's going on. You can see it. You can see it on the side over here. I'm not going to bring some of this stuff up. But let's see. Bobby1ALU says Shooting the Rapids is one of my Zaccaria favorites. Interested in the deluxe version. So, yeah, and I think this is another one that has, I believe, been out on Steam, on PC for a little while now, at least. For those of you who don't know, there is a Zaccaria app with these on there. It's ridiculous the amount of flippers they put on pinball tables nowadays. Flippers don't equal fun. MG, believe it or not, I actually agree with you on something. So yes, I would definitely tend to agree with that. You don't need a million flippers on a table, and that was one of the things I did not like. I mean, Moonflight had 8 freaking flippers on it. Yeah, I had 4 on the main field, 2 on a lower playfield area, and 2 on an upper playfield area. And quite honestly, they could have gotten rid of that upper playfield and done something different for the multi-ball. I still haven't been able to get up. I know how you get up to that upper playfield. There's a little exhaust hole that has a target on it that changes from basement to top, and depending on which one is lit is how you go and whatever. But I could never figure out how you choose back and forth between the two and how you get up there. And then getting up there, you've got to kind of keep it up there and get it into an area where you can lock from multi-ball. It was just it was needlessly hard. I mean, pinball games don't have to be easy, but it was for me, it was like needlessly hard. And if they'd have just gotten rid of even that upper play area and just kept the lower basement play area with the extra flippers on it, would have made that table much better, in my opinion. So I'm excited to see this Shooting the Rapids. This looks a lot better. Again, not so flipper crazy and whatever. I'll have to see how it works with that upper playfield, but we'll see how it goes. But that is supposed to come out next week. I believe next Thursday that is supposed to come out. So we'll see. Sometimes AtGames sends me an advanced copy. So if I get a chance to check it out a little bit early, maybe I'll have some thoughts for you guys next week, Wednesday night, before it comes out. All right. One last thing that I want to just throw out there before I get into talking about what GIJoel's got going on, what Glenn's doing with his stuff. And I always like to talk about what's going on in VR a little bit. I know a lot of us have been having a lot of fun with our VR headsets. A lot of times, the games that take the focus are Walkabout Mini Golf. A lot of us love to play that with each other. That game is so much fun to play. A lot of people have been talking, of course, about pinball effects in VR. The new Williams tables that just came to that. Be nice if they would add some kind of multiplayer component to that as well. But I want to shine a spotlight on a different game that I don't hear too many people talk about, but I've been playing it. I think it's a lot of fun. If you happen to have the MetaQuest Plus subscription, I believe this is free with the Plus subscription. If not, I believe this retails for $13.99, so not super, super expensive. But the game I want to talk about is this, and this is Home Sports. And in a lot of ways, this game reminds me of Wii Sports in VR. You've got 5 different games that you can play. I'll play the trailer in just a second, but you've got pickleball, which is surprisingly a lot of fun. You've got hockey, bowling, mini golf, and badminton. And I'll play a little of the trailer here for this. And it's really a lot of fun. And the cool thing is, it does, if you've got the MetaQuest 3 or 3S, this takes advantage of the AR capabilities, which is really cool because it puts the whole play area like right in the middle of your room. I haven't had a chance to try that. I'd love to really try this out and play with friends. I haven't had a chance to do that yet. I don't know who else has this and is on this to play with, but even just playing against the computer is a lot of fun. So if you were a fan of Wii Sports, I would highly recommend checking this out because it really does remind me a lot of the VR version of Wii Sports. So this is Home Sports. Definitely a lot of fun and worth checking out. what we say in VR stays in VR, Bill, unless you're Michael B. the James Sheen. And then he tells everyone everything, even explaining the inside jokes for everyone on history. Totally true. Totally true. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I guess the three. Yeah, you know what? Never mind. I'm not going to say it. Canadian. Oh, Brooklyn. Of course you did. I played home sports and streamed it a few months back. Pickleball is the best out of all the games. Pickleball is a lot of fun. It's definitely a lot of fun. I almost punched my hand through the wall. You do have to watch out where you are. But again, that's the nice thing about the fact that you can play that in mixed reality, so you can kind of see your surroundings and all and watch out for what is around you. And it's cool too, because you can change the size of the play area to fit your surroundings, which is really cool. It's been having fun. I'll leave that alone. There are definitely better bowling experiences in VR than home sports, but I still think it's kind of fun. For what it is, I think it's kind of... I mean, Wii bowling was, not like real bowling, that's for sure. It's a mixed reality. Oh, you know what? Yes, you're right. So I don't think it's available for the Quest 2. I think you do need the 3 or the 3S in order to play it. So that is true. That is true. You ever see that Baby Yoda character? Are you talking about the thing behind me? Or are you talking about something else? Because I know he's behind me. Oh, you guys are... you guys are brutal. You guys are brutal. Oh, my God. All right, you know what? Enough of that. Let's move on to the main topic, the thing you guys all came here to talk about. So, again, Mike, I know you're here. I don't know if you caught it earlier, but I was saying that I really enjoyed your show Monday night when you talked to Stock Jock and GIJoel. I thought it was a really good show. I thought you did a great interview with those guys. Shame they had to spend an hour talking to you, but, it is what it is. But seriously, it was really good. Anybody who missed it, go back and check it out. But I was really surprised by how many people... When Joel showed off his new machine that he's working about, how many people were really making the comparisons to Glenn and what he's doing with his FU unit. So, you're welcome. So, I wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit tonight. I wanted to kind of compare and contrast the two a little bit, see who they're for, maybe again make you guys help you guys make any kind of decisions if you've been kind of looking at both of those, trying to figure out on the fence, what are they for, things like that. So let me start out talking about what GIJoel's got going on with his new project. Don't I bit the bullet going on Mike B show. We did it for the community. God bless you, brother. All right, so before the show, I actually reached out to Joel. I asked him if there was anything he wanted me to share or any pictures or anything that he wanted that he could share with me. So he was kind enough to send me a couple of pictures and a little video of something that he's working on to go along with this. So let me pull some of that up so we can talk about that. So for those of you guys who missed it, GIJoel has been working on a brand new product, and this is it. And as you can see, this is designed to have the look and feel of a Nintendo style cab from, the arcade days of games like Donkey Kong, Popeye, all those classic Nintendo games of the arcades. Now, I think this is a really good and really smart move for Joel. He's really made a name for himself in coming up with mods and add-ons for the Arcade 1-Up products, whether you want a riser or a little booster or any other kind of like add-on for Arcade 1-Up. But let's face it, we really don't know what's going on with Arcade 1-Up. They've been pretty quiet lately. They're really not coming out with much of anything super interesting. They keep changing things up, going from, their normal size to their slimmer size to the smaller little $2.99 ones that you can now get that are out now, which I know has got to be causing him frustration to have to keep changing designs and things to meet these new products that are coming out. So for him to branch out into something else, I think is really, really smart. And real quick, I just want to say a huge shout out and thank you to Jason Little Alien, who just gifted 10 memberships to the channel. Thank you so much, Jason. Again, not necessary, but absolutely appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. Definitely appreciate it. Is this the part where I ask him to make it bigger, or should I wait? Yes, Paul, we all know your proclivity for XL size machines. But in a way, I think what he's doing here, keeping this in that 3/4 deluxe scale, is a smart move, considering how many people have, Arcade 1-Ups in their collection that are that size, and designing this to fit right in. Now, whether or not he maybe goes with something of an XL size later on, we'll have to wait and see. Here's another look at the cab from the front side where you can see the monitor here. He's got a placeholder, obviously, for a marquee. I'll get into what this is on the top in just a second. Now, the prototype that he's thrown together right now, you can see has the Intech deck in it for you to be able to put your Nintendo cartridges in and play those. He's got his Verse Super Mario Brothers here. From what I understand, his real intention with this is to make this in the style of kind of like a Play Choice machine from back in the arcade days. Although with this shape, if you wanted to turn it into a Donkey Kong, or you wanted to turn it into a Popeye, or you wanted to turn it into a Play Choice, you kind of have your options open for you. The idea here, from what I understand, is, again, options. You have the option to get an Intech deck and throw it in here, and it should slot right in. Or I believe he's going to make some custom control panels that you can put in here and then add your own joysticks and buttons and things like that to this. This is something that he's working on to go with this. These are like those little mini LED screens that you can, have different things show on them. So almost like a Neo Geo, where, it's got the, if you got like a 4-slot Neo Geo, it's got the 4 games on the marquee or whatever. You could put this up on top and probably even program this to show the game that you're playing, or just go back and forth between different things. Here's a little video. This is a little video he sent me of this working, and as you can see, he's just kind of got this programmed to just show a bunch of different games back and forth on it. And I think this is actually something really cool. So I hope that this is something that he either sells to go with this, or at least offers the option of, a download to be able to program one yourself. But I think this is something that is really cool to go with this. Let me see here. So a couple of things to keep in mind with this is the idea behind this is really that this is just a shell. Okay, this is not meant to be a full, ready-to-go unit. Now, I know Joel's still trying to work out some logistics with this thing. He's trying to put it all together. He's trying to figure out cost and stuff like that. So, I'm sure there's going to be more information coming down the road as he continues to work on this. Is there a possibility that he could make some deals maybe with buy stuff or whatever to offer it to come with a monitor, with controls, maybe even source Raspberry Pis and throw them in to go with it? I suppose that's a possibility, but I believe right now the main idea behind this is it's just a shell. And you build your own. You get your own monitor to throw in it. You get your own guts, whether it's a PC or a Pi or a Viper. You get your own controls and things like that, and you build this out yourself. So this is really a DIY project. This is not really meant to be like a replacement for an arcade went up so much in that you're going to buy this, you're going to put it together, you're going to turn it on, and it's going to be ready to go. You're going to have to do some work to get this thing together. Now that I don't mean that in a bad way. I think there's a market for that for sure. And, I know somebody brought up, tariffs and stuff. Joel builds these in his garage. Okay. There may be bits and pieces of things that he buys from overseas, but I think 99% of the stuff he buys locally. He puts this together and whatever. So yeah, this is just him. So this is something that isn't going to be affected by tariffs. At least if you, like I said, if you just want to buy this as a shell, get your own monitor, get your own controls, put the whole thing together yourself and do. So good on Joel. I think this is a really great idea. I think this is a great project. I think, for people who know what they're doing with this kind of stuff, that this is going to be a lot of fun. Again, it's going to be interesting to see if he can do some collaborations with people. I'm sure he could probably reach out to people like Joe Sabos as well for artwork and things like that. So you'll be able to skin this and make it anything you want. But going back to GRS, what I'm looking for here. All right, let me start with this picture. So I know a lot of people have been making comparisons because when you look at this, they look really similar. One of the big things that Glenn has been touting is the idea of turning his Build-A-Cade FU into a Nintendo-style cab. Now, I know some people are going to like the way this looks better. Some people are going to like the way Joel's looks better. You might say one is closer in shape to the other, whatever. But I think just because they do share that similar aesthetic, that's where the comparisons are being drawn between the two products. And there's definitely a lot of differences between the two. I think really the only similarity is the fact that they both can have this similar shape to them. With Glenn's, you're talking about something that is meant, first off, to be more of a full-size arcade, as opposed to the 3/4 scale that Joel is working on. So this is definitely going to be a bigger machine. With it being bigger, that means it's also going to be heavier. It also means it's going to take up more space. than what Joel is doing. So again, pluses and minuses between the two. This is meant to come as a fully functioning machine pretty much right out of the gate. It comes with a monitor. You've got two options. You can get it in a 19-inch monitor that has the ability to auto-rotate from horizontal to vertical. It comes with the control deck, all set to go. Excuse me. It comes with the Viper Venom SBC, loaded with the Arcade OS. No games on it really, at least so far. The only game that it's supposed to come with is The Adventures of Robbie Roto, because Glenn does have a license for that game. But the nice thing about the Arcade OS is that it does have a built-in downloader. So if you don't have your own ROMs to throw on it, there is the ability to go ahead and rotate them. Rotate. I'm watching the chat. There's the ability to go download them yourself and get them on this machine with minimum effort. So it's also kind of a very plain machine as well in terms of the look. When you compare it to GI Joel's, neither of them is really meant to come with artwork. Joel's talking about, maybe sending them out in different colors, maybe like a light blue, a red, an orange, some things that were kind of prevalent in the Ninten-Cabs of the day, whereas Glenn's is going to just be this black color. But again, he's already talking to people like Joe Sabos for artwork for this, so you'll be able to source and put your own artwork on this as well. So I do feel like these, even though they share some similarities, they are very different machines, and I think they are both viable, in the marketplace. Now, again, Glenn's is going to have an actual full working coin door. I'm not sure what Joel's, if his is just a faux coin door or if it's something that will actually work or not. The other thing with Glenn's is that you do not have to have this be a Nintendo style cab. On its own, it's going to come with this shape here like this. The hood add-on is what makes this the Nintendo style cab. So again, Glenn's been really, touting that whole Glentendo, if you want, look of this thing, because there's so much nostalgia around those. That shape and whatever, but it's not something you necessarily have to do, and it is going to be an add-on which will cost more on Glenn's. Now, as for Glenn's, what we know right now is that he's still working through things with the tariffs and whatever. With them coming back down to 30%, it's a much more manageable number for him to try to keep it to the under 1,000 that he had promised people for the 19-inch one, and then a little over 1,000 for the 26-inch one. Now, before I check out the chat and see what people are saying here, I did promise you an update on the GRS Build-A-Cade FU, and this is what Glenn told me earlier today. That as of right now, he is targeting to have his Kickstarter launch in early June. Hopefully like within the first or second week. He just said early June to me. But what he's also said is that he is going to have, let me see if I can get this right, 100 super early bird units that, in his words, are going to be a great deal. So more information to come. Again, maybe Glenn will have even more to share on Friday or when we get into June, when it gets closer to this Kickstarter to launch. But as of right now, he is planning on launching his Kickstarter in early June. And one of the things he wants to do is he wants to have 100 super early bird units that are going to be a great deal, whatever great deal means. Again, we'll have to wait and find out. But that is the update from Glenn on the GRS Build-A-Cade FU. Let me see what some people are saying in the chat here. Oh gosh. A lot of jokes at my expense. I'm not going to bring those up. What's Paul saying here? Glenn's is too big, too much money, and not arcade accurate in design. Joel's is better, just not quite big enough. Man, Paul, there is just no... There's no pleasing you, is there? There's... But I get where you're coming from. You want something very specific. You are an Excel guy. That's what you want. And I get that nothing else is going to do. Hobby Hands, good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Joel's Garage got a 30% tariff levy on it. Some people want a shell and source their own build, and Glenn provides an all-in-one solution room for both. Exactly. That's exactly the point here. The available options are going to be excellent. It's like $400 worth of buttons on that thing. You know, it's designed very much like the control panel that he built for the iArcade, which I have on my iArcade, and I like. It's not as busy as it seems, and it's pretty easy to play with without feeling like, you know, your hands are hitting things they shouldn't. Oh, Gamer Fridge. Glad you could make it. You're probably gone by the time I said hi, but hi from the replay. That on piece is going to be the hit or miss. It needs to be perfectly slotted in, or it might be an issue with the side art. My guess is that if you're going to get side art for this, you're going to get it based on the fact that you're putting that hood on. So the hood will have to go on first, and then the side art will cover it, most likely. Is there a possibility that they could do the side art in pieces so that, you know, you could put it on while you're building the thing and then it just fits together? I suppose that's a possibility, but there's more chance of you seeing the seam if that's the case, unless there's unless the side art on the hood piece has like a little bit of overlap, and then once you put it on, you kind of smooth it down and it just kind of blends in. I mean, I suppose that's a possibility with it, but my guess is it's going to be one piece that you're going to have to put on with the thing put together. I think almost everyone would prefer a 19-inch screen and adult-size control panels, but I don't mind sacrificing size to save space and money. So, again, yeah, it really does come down to what it is you want. I agree with this on the auto-rotate. I think that is a really cool feature and something that makes me definitely want one. The only question I have is which one is Bill Gates? Neither. Next question, please. Ray De La Torre. I don't know if I saw you before, but good to see you here. Hello, hello, hello. Prices on the Pixel-Cades are so damn expensive right now, but I'll want that option. Yeah, I'm wondering. See, I think it would be smart if GIJoel can have an option for one of those as well. I don't know off the top of my head the size of those. Again, obviously, with Glenn's being more of a full-size unit, the marquee is also going to be bigger. So I don't know if those Pixel-Cades are designed more for like a full-size or for a bigger machine. But if they've got versions that would fit in like a deluxe or a 3/4 scale, I think that would be a cool thing to be able to put in Joel's machine as well. When are we going to just put all our best people together? Joel builds the cabs, or this ability makes the art, and Glenn works with Shenzhen to spec out the heart. You know what? Anything is possible. I would definitely say anything is possible. If you read the small print with Glenn's full function coin door, you have to send him your quarters each month accumulated. That's pretty funny. First units have 100 buttons. Nice update, Bill. Glenn has always communicated with his customers. Yeah, he's always been good with that. And again, I would assume the same thing with Joel. I'm sure we're going to hear more from him, or his community liaison, Stock Shock, will keep us up to date. I really want the Glenn's FU. That's the Be Me. Yeah, well, I hope it's something you can get, and maybe you can get in on whatever his 100 early bird special is too. Sell my ALU and get Glenn's FU. If doing the Donkey Kong like I'm interested in, the third-party artwork options are really going to be key. Hobby Hands. I have the ability to make my own cab, but I'm hoping to still support Glenn's project. Anyways, I want future projects from him. Yeah, well, and with that as well, I know there's other stuff that Glenn is working on. He's definitely told me about something else that he has in mind that I don't want to. I'm not at liberty to share because he hasn't put it out yet. That's up to him, but he's definitely got some other cool ideas on the horizon. With G.I. Joel, I know this is just the first of what he wants to do as well. Again, go back and watch Michael B's show. He talked about making a Robotron style cab as well. So that is something that may be in the works, maybe other shapes and sizes too. You know, really, in terms of talking about competition, and again, I know I titled this, you know, G.I. Joel versus GRS, Battle of the Ninten-Cabs and whatever. But the funny thing is, I actually don't see them as competition to each other. When you get right down to it, the only reason they're any kind of competition to each other is because everything in the home arcade space is competition to each other in terms of what we, the consumer, are willing to spend our money on. You know, whether it's an arcade 1-up, whether it's Iconic Arcade or Basic Fun, whatever they wind up coming out with, whether it's something like this from G.I. Joel, whether it's Glenn's project, whether it's something else out there, some multicade out there. These things are all competition for our dollars. So it all comes down to what do you really want and what are you willing to spend. In terms of them being direct competition to each other, I would actually say when it comes to G.I. Joel, I see his as more competition with maybe other people out there who do mods for existing machines, or a lot of those people on, like, say, Etsy, who sell arcade shells, whether it's bar top or full size or whatever. You can find a lot of those on Etsy. $200, $300, $500, $600, $1,000 for these shells that you, again, get your own monitor, get your own PC, get your own components, and put it together yourself. But you're just paying for the shell. So if you're not, you know, a woodworker, you know, and can't build your own arcade, this gets you started. So I kind of see Joel as more competition for that. Glenn, I almost see as more competition for the other multicade machines that are out there, whether it's a Rec Room Master or whether it's the other GRS Game Room Solutions or things like that. Now, those machines tend to be a lot more expensive than what Glenn is going to have, but they also come with like 10,000 games loaded on them. That gets into some legal sticky areas that I know Glenn is looking to avoid. So he doesn't want anybody coming after him because he's selling a machine loaded with ROMs. There are plenty of ways that you can get those yourself. And again, the Arcade OS does have a downloader option built into it where you can download your legally allowed to have games on the system. So that's kind of where I see these two going. Let me jump down here a little bit. I think Glenn was just kidding about the Kathleen Kennedy torture chamber. Something he's really building. I don't know. Wouldn't put it past him. Regardless, two awesome options we are looking for. Absolutely. Oh, God. A lot of hate and misinformation sucks in this little community. Anyway, back to Bill's clickbait stream. All right, so maybe the title was a little bit of a gotcha. I don't know if I'd go so far as to call it clickbait. But I did, like I said, I did want to shine a spotlight on both products. I did want to talk about them for a little bit. Put some info out to anybody who may or may not have, heard of them or really talked about them a little bit. Absolutely, Glenn's is clearly the custom multi-cade competitor. That's a whole lot different than Joel's. Absolutely. That's absolutely where I was going with that. And I think it's good. I think this stuff is really going to help to keep the home arcade alive. This is the kind of stuff that has been around in the home arcade long before companies like Arcade Went Up or iArcade or any of those even came about and started making these recreation machines or things like that. For years, people had built their own home arcades for the purpose of playing these thousands of games on them. And this kind of harkens back to that. It's like this community has come full circle with a lot of this now with these new options from people like GIJoel and Glenn. And I, for one, am excited about what's coming out. I'm excited to keep an eye on these projects to see where they move in the future. I wish both GIJoel and Glenn tremendous success, tremendous luck with these products. I hope they are both successful for them. I hope it leads to newer and even better products down the line from them, and it keeps this home arcade community going. It keeps things, it just keeps it going. So, guys, I am a little after 9 here. I'm sure Arcades Anonymous has started already, so I want to send you guys over to them or on your way for a Wednesday. Thank you so much for hanging out and sticking with me for this hour to hear me waffle and ramble on about all this stuff for the last hour. I greatly appreciate all the time, anytime you guys want to spend with me. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the gifted memberships. Again, not necessary, but genuinely appreciated. So I look forward to talking to you guys again really soon. I should be back again next Wednesday. Hopefully there's more interesting things to talk about. And, right. Happy Hump Day, and we'll see you soon. Take care.